All right, so we're going to take a look at the May market report. Just got done with this, and there's some very interesting numbers here to look at, especially comparing year over year. And when looking at a market report, I mean, you can hear a lot of stuff out there from national perspective on what's going on. But what the key is to look at is local, where you're actually at. Just as weather, there's no national forecast. It could be raining somewhere else and sunny somewhere else. The market report and market information is all depending on the location that you're at. And thankfully, we're here in Rochester, and we had some good signs of um, the market turning around here a little bit and competing very well versus last year. So we'll take a peek at these numbers with some new graphs as well that we'll take a look at. New listings onto the market. So in the month of May, this is 2011, 194 new listings came onto the market, 183 last year. So up 6% in the amount of listings coming onto the market, again, which is very interesting because of last year, everybody was trying to get their home onto the market to capitalize on that tax credit, which ended on June 30th. So you had to have the contract written by June 30th. So people were putting their home on the market to try to capture that. So this May, we actually had more come on the market. If we look year to date, 1,100 have come on the market, and last year, 1,429. So down about 250 homes that have hit the market. And if we actually look at that, that's 17% down versus last year. And again, that has a huge effect of everybody threw their home onto the market trying to capitalize on that tax credit last year. You're going to hear the tax credit a lot here. I'm just going to give us something to compare to, but I want to make sure that we're understanding these numbers. Pending homes during May, 191 homes went under contract during May. Doesn't necessarily mean that they closed yet, but they had a contract written on them. Last May was a 131, so a 45.8% increase in homes going under contract. Again, a great sign to see here in Rochester. Because what we're actually seeing here is these homes going under contract was a big deal last year because they could capitalize on that tax credit. So we outdid what we did last May. Year-to-date homes that have gone under contract, 777 versus 798. So if we look at the whole picture, we're down about 2.6%. And again, that is a great sign to see that we're competing again with last year's tax credit. Sold homes during May, 205 versus 208 during May 2011. So almost identical months if you look at just the sold homes. So that's down 1.4%. Year to date, we're talking 583 homes versus 608. So down just about 25 homes versus last year, down 4%. So again, very minor decrease. So that is a great sign that we're competing again with that last year market. So if we look at sold average days on the market, 146 versus 122. So that is actually up. So the inventory that is selling is a little bit higher. Again, I'm going to throw that old tax credit out there, but again, that has a lot to do with a lot of the inventory last year that was selling was put on the market to capitalize on that tax credit. So it was selling a lot quicker. We look at average sale price for the first time this year. This has surpassed 2010. So 170. This is residential in Rochester versus 169 last year. So we're up 0.2% in actual average sale price in our home. So that is a good sign that our sale price is increasing and hopefully establishing that new kind of floor that we're going to kind of build up and look at our average sale price increase over the next months and then also years. Active listings, 1,078 versus 1,255 last year. So that is down about 200 homes. And then the sold to list price. So this year, listing your home, it's selling for about 96.6% of your list price versus 2010, it's 98.3. So that is down a little bit. And again, we'll throw the old wild card of the tax credit, throwing a little wrinkle in that as well. So if we look at 2010 versus 2011, this is making it a little bit more visual. We're seeing here year-to-date single-family homes, basically identical, 469 versus 458. Average sale price is down a tiny bit when we look just at single-family homes. We were looking at all of them combined in the last report. And then we can also see sold days on the market, and then also the average sale price versus list price. So currently there's 989 active homes, and their average list price is $215,000, and they've been on the market for 164 days. Sold 583. The average sale price of our homes is right around the 176. And then we look at the sale price. The actual average days on the market is 151 for those sold homes. Under contract, 776. And those homes have been on the market for about 137 days. Year-to-date back on the market, there's been 14 homes that have come back onto the market. And then year-to-date expired, there's been 213 homes that have actually expired throughout the year. Their prices have been around 185. And then the average days on the market for those homes was 324. But here's something to look at. So when we're looking here, in the red is 2011, the blue is 2010. Obviously, we can see all of 2010. We can't see all of 2011 yet. But this is showing that big spike that home buyer's tax credit had. In June, 254 homes sold, a huge spike. And you can see that huge drop off last year that we got from that tax credit. This year we do not have that, and we're competing right along with it, not quite as well in April. So we'll see how June fares out here. But what we're going to have is, even if we don't match what we did last June, it's going to be a much more steady and gradual decline during the winter months, and we should surpass year-to-date numbers. This should actually be a huge separator for 2011 versus 2010 during these months, because I got a feeling it's going to be a lot better than what it was last year, because we took that market away from these future months when we had that tax credit. So another very good sign to see here in Rochester. What's selling here in Rochester? In the price range of 120 to 140, there's been 81 homes that have sold. So that is the big price category right now. If we look at number 2, it's 200 to 250. There's been 60 homes. And then the second spot there is basically a tie here between 100 and 120 and 140 and 160. I guess those three are basically all tied in there. But that's the hot spot. Now we can see our inventory out there, and this was ran as of today, and this is on June 6th, that this inventory here. So we can see how many homes are actually out there in all of these price ranges. The number one price range is 120 to 140, and again, that's the number one selling price range as well. And then you can see each one of those categories, what's the average days on the market. So you guys can pause the video here if you want to take a quick peek at that and see where your home may be at, what else is out there, what are you competing against. If you want more information about what you're competing against, and also what kind of hits you're getting on your listings, just contact one of our KW agents and we'll help you get that information. We can compare yours versus other listings as well. This is quickly an overview of Southeast Minnesota. So this is all of Southeast Minnesota. New listings 680 versus 564, so up 20% in, minus shouldn't be in there, apologize for that, but that is actually up 20% in new listings onto the market. Year to date, we are down about 17%, so the minus should have been there, and then it shouldn't have been there, so sorry about that. But 3,600 new listings last year. Pending homes, another great sign here, 448 versus 338 last year, so up 33% on contracts getting written. Year to date, almost identical, down about a little over 100, and we're talking 7.8% of pending homes. And again, we're going to start separating, I believe, from 2010. Now that tax credit's coming to an end, that's been the big advantage in 2010, keeping them comparable to us right now. Sold homes, 452 versus 527, so down 14%. And then year to date, we're down about 6.8%, 1,500 versus 1,600, about 113 differential there. Sold days in the market, 140 versus 133. It's up about 5.2%, and again, that has a lot to do with our little magic tax credit. Average sale price, all of Southeast Minnesota, 135 versus 140, so down about 3.6% in average sale price. Active listings, 3,200 versus 3,700 last year. And then our actual sold price to list price ratio, 95.8 versus 97.2 if we look at everything. And this does include Rochester and all of Southeast Minnesota as well. So that is the market report for May. Any questions on this? If you guys want more information, just go to eyeonrochestermarket.com. We constantly are updating that, letting you guys know exactly what's going on in the market, what's happening week by week, letting you guys know and keeping you guys informed. And also contact any of our agents at any time for more information, and we'll be glad to give you that information.